We're live. Hurrah. If you want to say hello, please do. I will check in periodically to answer any questions. But basically, we are going to be drawing feathers. So I have had a bit of a practice today, just because I haven't drawn feathers for since I drew the Elizabeth chicken. So I thought I'd better have a bit of a practice. And you know, actually it works so well on the drafting film. So I'll just explain very briefly what we're working with today. So we're just going to be drawing, well, as much as I can around the feathers around this area. Hi Amy. We're working on the drafting film. So this is drafting film here. If I just slip, what will I slip under it? I'll just get, something that's a different colour and just pop that underneath it so that you can kind of see it's transparent, opaque, and it's just a really, really lovely surface. It's very smooth. It's double-sided matte. You can draw on both sides of the surface. I use a little makeup brush to flick off any dust and everything that kind of gets in the way. I've got it sitting over a piece of Canson Moulin de Roy hot press paper, which is very, very smooth, so I don't have any texture or anything coming through. And hi Jill, hi Anita, hi Carol. And yeah, so I'm just going to make a start really. I'm using light fast pencils. So I've got black, I've got ocean blue, which is absolutely gorgeous. I've got granite, and I've got dark indigo, and then I've got a light cobalt blue luminance. And those are the only pencils really that I think I'm probably going to use. You need to use really, really, really light pressure on the drafting film. Really light pressure. And I'm just going to make a start really. I'm just going to carry on drawing what I was drawing before. If I go a little bit quiet, it's because I've gone wrong or I'm concentrating or something like that. But I'm using really, really light pressure. The drafting film is the most gorgeous paper. Well, it's not paper, it's like a polyester film type thing. It's honestly, it's like going on holiday. If you've been using pastel mat, I love pastel mat, I adore pastel mat, but when you use this film, it's like taking a massive great big sigh and just going, oh well, this is rather lovely, because you just don't, you know, it's effortless. The way that the pencil just glides onto the film is effortless. It does have its downsides in that it's you can struggle to get layers in there, and also once you start to get any texture and stuff in there, it's quite difficult to get it out. So getting a really, really smooth finish is can be a little bit tricky. So you've just got to go steady. It erases really well, and I use the two of them here, Tombow erasers. So I've got the little round one, Tombow Mono, and I've got the sort of oblongy type one, and they're really, really good. So you can just erase out whatever you've put in there, and you know, you can draw over the top of them. So they're really good. But if anybody's sort of thinking, oh, I'm a bit scared to use it, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. Makes a change from looking at little white bottoms in Discord. I have no idea what's been going on in Discord today. You're all just bonkers. I keep on seeing notifications popping up, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going on? And if anybody's not on Discord, then yeah, you know, if you fancy sort of like whiling away a few hours every day just talking about crazy stuff, then I'd recommend you join. So it actually the pigment starts to lay down a little bit better. In fact, I'm just going to, once your pencil's just slightly, the points just slightly come off the pencil. You know, so it's not too sharp. So I've got feathers coming in this way. And then of course the slice tool works fantastically with it. Absolutely fantastically. I'm hoping you can see this and not just my big fat hand. So I'm going to just pop in a little bit more pigment, and then we'll put in the little vein bit that goes down the middle, which is we can put that in with the slice tool. And if you've got any questions, do ask. I'm kind of spinning round to have a look at my computer screen every now and again. Okay, so we've got a bit of a and we've got a bit of a feathery thing going there as well. So it's just, oh, honestly, it's just such a lovely surface. You know, if you like details and you've got something that's a little bit detailed, like sort of feathery things or anything like that, it is really good surface to work on. A really good surface. And I've used all sorts of things on it actually. I've used Copic markers on it, although I've now found out that they're not actually light fast. What have we got? Oh, good. Okay, yeah, yes, it's it is. Yeah, good. Can't wait to try this. Looking forward to doing the pony. Yes, hurrah! And I've seen a few people have started to do the pony, and it's working really well. And I've got a few more tutorials that I've got lined up to do on the drafting film as well. One of them being a leopard, which I am very excited about. I get to find out on Monday if I get to draw it. It's for the Animal Artist Collective, and we choose our animal on Monday. And if I get in there quick and I get it, then I'm going to do that on the drafting film, because I think it'll work really well, and it'll be quicker than doing it on Pastelmat. And it's funny, I don't get on well with smooth paper at all. I mean, you know, I can do stuff on it and it looks okay, but it's not an enjoyment. I tend to start stuff and then give up and go back to Pastelmat. But with the drafting film, I really like it, which is odd really, because I shouldn't. Bonnie, we are your bonkers crew. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are my bonkers crew. You're all mad. Right, so I'm just going to put a little bit more extra in here, and then you're probably all sitting there thinking, oh my god, this is so boring. I'm watching her colour in a little bit of black. So now then, where's my slice tool? Talk about being prepared. Right, so I've got the slice tool here. I'm just going to put in this little bit of the, hopefully you can see, I'll try and do it so that you can see. And it just, you just want to shout hooray when you use the slice tool. How do you frame drafting film drawings? That's a really good question, actually. Well, what happens is if you frame them like you would not, or if you tape them like you normally would tape a piece of paper or board or whatever, what tends to happen is it tends to buckle and it tends to warp a little bit. So what my framer does is he just puts one tiny bit of tape at the top in the centre and lets it hang, and then I put a piece of paper underneath it, white paper or whatever paper you want to use behind it. You put that underneath, and then you would frame it as normal, but you just hang it from one piece of tape at the top so it doesn't buckle, because it does have a tendency to sort of not crease, but it just doesn't like to be taped down. And I know the other thing that you can do is you can use those photo holders, the little corners. You can put those on a piece of card and just sort of slot it in, and that works well as well. So how do you get the shiny effect on black feathers? That's just a case of leaving out your highlights. So we'll come to it in a minute on here, and it's just a case of just leaving out the highlighty bits. Lots of black feathers on my puffin. Oh, that's good. A leopard, yes. If you offer portraits on this film, wouldn't people say they'd rather have paper? Well, they wouldn't get a choice, Jill. Basically, they would not get a choice. If I decided to do my portrait on this paper, then that's what they get. As long as the portrait is light fast and it's beautifully presented, I don't think it matters. As long as your paper is archival. I did a lot of my original commission work on drafting film, and I didn't get any complaints, I don't think, from anybody. And it's not cheap. It isn't cheap. A pad of 15 sheets has cost me £24. So it's not as if it's just cheapo, film. It's good stuff. Oh yeah, the slice tool is really fun. So you could put a coloured piece of paper behind it. Yes, you could put a coloured piece of paper behind it. There is I can't remember her name now. She uses a lot of drafting film. She does her portrait, and then she puts things like Hessian behind, or you could actually create a background if you wanted, and kind of it's going to be a bit muted because it's it's obviously opaque, but you could put background behind, anything like that. Works really nicely. Right, so let's crack on with this bit here. So I'm just going to use the granite on this bit, and I'm going to start to pull in some of this feather shaping here. And the really nice thing about it is, if you go wrong, just erase it all and start again. And of course you can work on the back of the film as well. If you want to darken up some areas, you can flip the film over and you can start to work on the back too, which is really good. And you can see it goes down really, really, really smoothly, I'm trying to use my pencil in the same direction as the direction of the feathers. And actually it's quite strange drawing feathers rather than drawing fur, but it's the same principle. It's about finding shapes and drawing the shapes. So let's just draw these little feathery bits that are in here as well. So I'm using really, really light pressure. Trying to keep my hand out of the way. So let's have a look. So we've got this feather here, then we've got a little, as per usual, my line drawing is absolutely terrible. I just seem to have a real mental block when it comes to line drawings, and I've got a beautiful picture all there, all projected, and all of the detail and everything's there, and then I spend about 3 minutes just putting a load of random lines in that when I take it away, they don't mean anything. It's very strange. Right, I'm going to use this gorgeous colour, which is the ocean blue. And I'm just going to very gently just put some of this in here. Now, what you'll notice if you start to use the drafting film is that your colours, the colours that you recognise and love and you know what they look like, when you put them down on the drafting film, they look completely different. And that's one of the reasons why I'm using the light fast colours, because they seem to be more true. So the Polychromos black looks green. The Polychromos dark indigo looks like a bright blue. It's bizarre. It must be to do with the coating that's on the paper. So, and that's why the Fjord pony came out looking all multicoloured, which actually I really loved. But it wasn't intentionally like that. But it was a happy accident, so that was okay. Okay. So I am honestly literally just touching the paper here, and the pigment just sort of falls off the end of the pencil. I've tried smudging it as well, and that doesn't really tend to work. Once the pigment is down on the paper, that's kind of it. You can sort of smear the colours together, but smudging, I was using a paper stump, and yeah, it didn't work very well. So you'll be pleased to hear that I'm sitting here with my headphones on, my little peaked cap and my glasses, and I wear a little visor thing, not because I think I look really cool, but because my light is right in front of me. It shines sort of from, well, it's just sitting right in front of me, and I wear the visor so that I can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm going back to the granite again, and I'm just going to sort of merge those colours in slightly. It takes a little bit of getting used to, does the drafting film. If you're not careful, you can get sort of a few blobby bits rather than a smooth area, but you kind of get used to it. And if it doesn't work properly, you can always rub it out and start again. And you'll find some colours work better and are smoother than others. Okay, so I'm going to go on with the black now. So that's going down quite nicely. And the nice thing about it is that you can use, varying pressure to get varying, like you would on normal paper, but to get varying degrees of shades of the colour that you're using. So actually you can use the black quite a lot and use it for sort of greys and stuff like that. And here we've got like a little bit of a weird thing going on there. I'm not quite sure what that is. And then we've got this, and then you can use the pressure really quite hard to get a really, really black. Now I've got Wandering Willie coming along now. Poor old Zach. So we've got here, perhaps doing some suggestions of line drawings and what gives you so much freedom to add, subtract as you please. Oh yeah, yes, maybe. You've got your feather boa on. That's good. Yes, my poor old doggy. He's got all sorts of things wrong with him, but I thought he was having one of his episodes the other day. I feel terrible about it. I thought he was having one of his episodes, and so I gave him some of his tranquilizer type things to help calm him down, and he just wasn't any better. And he ended up taking him in the car with me to go and pick my son up at like midnight, and he was sick in the back of the car. And then I actually then realised that he'd got a poorly tummy, and he'd actually wanted to go out, and I hadn't realised. And you can't just let him out in the garden because he won't do anything. You have to take him for a walk. So there was me trotting around the village at midnight with this dog, with a poorly tummy, poor old boy. I felt really mean taking him in the car. Bless him. Anyway. And Slipper's in trouble because she's eaten Sunday lunch. My son cooked some pork and left it on the side, and Slipper's eaten it all. So she's in trouble. So, yeah, I am cute in my drawing outfit. I know. Amazon has the Durla in rolls. Oh yeah, that would work. That would work, Amy. Yeah, definitely. I think you probably would have to pin it down a little bit to be able to draw on it, because it might have a bit of a warp on it. But the Durla, or whatever it's called, is the same as what I'm using here. Mine just comes in pads, which is kind of a bit easier for me, really. So you can see how this feather's starting to come now. And again, we can put that sort of like little vein in the middle in a second. But the pony was really, really fun. What's that? Oh yeah. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. It might be a bit difficult to flatten out, but actually it might be absolutely fine. There's quite a few different types of film. I know Karen Hodder, never people find a little bit distracting, but I mean, her pieces are just incredible anyway. So if she recommends that, then it's bound to be good. We'll just finish off this bit here. So I must admit, I do like the light fast on the film. They do seem to work very nicely. So once you've got sort of like a bit of a base down, then you can start to build in some of the detail-y bits. So we can start to just bring in a little bit of detail into the edge of these feathers here. And we come down. We've got a bit of a and then we've got this black, quite dark area down here, and you can see I'm starting to use really hard pressure now. So I'm getting a really black here. Which is quite nice actually. Being able to put hard pressure down and get exactly the effect you want is quite liberating. You know, coming from using Pastelmat all of the time, to be able to get effects like this is you know, it's nice. Is that to use the putty eraser with it? Yes, you can do. You can use the putty eraser on it as well. So if I use the putty eraser, just get rid of it. It's got a lot of pink on it from doing the focus. So I can just bring that in over the top there, and I can take out bits if I need to. You know, I can lift out little highlighty bits as well, which probably is the Tombows are better for sort of precision erasing, and the putty eraser for sort of like taking larger areas out, I suppose. Right, okay, so let's just bring in a bit of texture into here. So this is the granite. We can just start to bring in that bit of texture. The only thing I'd say is that can be a little bit frustrating is trying to get a really smooth finish, because sometimes you get the pencil lines and you can't get rid of the pencil lines. That's a bit annoying, but okay. So let's just work in here, and it's very different to Pastelmat than the technique that you'd use, because you go almost straight in with the details. You know, you go straight in with those details. So I'm now starting to do these sort of feathery bits here, feathery bits on the feathers, and it just is so nice. So I'm working on the focus video for, I can't believe it's blooming August soon, but anyway, I'm working on the focus video for August, and it's the shiny horsehair, and I've just been videoing some of it now, and it's so funny. It's only just started to come right. It's only just started to look anything like. It's been looking pretty pants for quite a long time, and you know, and I'm sitting there and I'm colouring it in, and I'm going, it's you know, yes, this is working, and I've just admitted now on video, you know, I'm telling you it's working, and in my head I'm thinking, oh my god, this is awful. It just looks terrible. Anyway, it now looks something like, I've got a few hours left to go on it, but it now looks pretty good, so I'm okay. So the perseverance paid off. So how many layers does drafting film take? Oh gosh, well, about 3. Doesn't take many at all. You want to be going in pretty quickly with your details. You know, you have got the ability to use the knife on it, which works incredibly well. But with Pastelmat, I mean, you've got such a huge amount of layers that you can play with. You know, so if things don't quite go to plan, you know, you can layer over it. You can incorporate any sort of you know, where you've gone wrong. You can just incorporate that into your drawing. With the drafting film, you can't. You know, if you go wrong, you've got to kind of rub it out and you know, redo it. I guess you can probably get about 6 layers on maybe, but then you've got the other side as well, so you can get more on the other side. I think it takes a little bit more planning, on the drafting film, because you've got to kind of plan around your white areas, that type of thing. But it has its pros as as does Pastelmat, but then Pastelmat also has its cons. So and it is faster than Pastelmat, but you get a different look and feel. So I'd say certain things work really nicely on the drafting film. I think you get a nicer depth on the Pastelmat. I think you can get a really, really lovely depth of colour and the detail and everything. But equally on the drafting film, I think with drafting film you can get some really vibrant colours. And yeah, I would say it's quicker because you've just got to go straight in with the detail, rather than building everything up with the Pastelmat. But then some people don't get on with the drafting film at all. Some people just don't like it, and it's it's very different to Pastelmat. It's almost like the complete opposite, and I wonder whether that's why I like it so much, because you have to do things completely differently. So I'm hoping this is looking okay on the video. I'm hoping it's if I'm obliterating the piece with my fat hand, please do shout out. So yeah, I've got the focus video that I've done on, or I will have done on Pastelmat, but I'm also considering if I've got the time, that I'm going to do it on drafting film as well, so we can kind of see how both work and what sort of effect we get from both of them, which might be quite interesting to see. Excited to see the shiny horsefair. Yes, I'm excited to see it as well. After working on it for 2 days and it looking absolutely terrible, it's now looking okay. So I must have a very good poker face when I'm doing my videos. Oh yes, look how fantastic it's looking. It's looking wonderful. And it really wasn't. Well, you'll see anyway when you watch the video. Right, so we'll use the grey again. In fact, we'll use a lighter grey, I think. The Polychromos Cold Grey. What's this? Cold Grey 3. Just trying to sort of smush it all together a bit. This is the Cobalt, the Luminance Cobalt Blue. Actually, the Luminance are pretty good at sort of blending and bringing everything together. And what happens when you put too many layers on is that the pigment just starts to move around. It just moves about underneath your pencil. So you can't actually get any more colour on. But it's so lovely and smooth, and especially if you use the lovely smooth pencils like the Lightfast, it's like a dream. Okay, so let's just start to darken that little bit up a bit. How do Pablo's do on it? Let's have a look. Black Pablo here. They work very nicely on it. Just bring in a bit of shadow down here. Yeah, they work really nicely. The one pencil that I don't think works nicely on it is the Studios don't work particularly well. Actually, the Pablos work really nicely. They're giving me a little bit of an even coverage. So that was a good call about the Pablos. I don't think the black's quite as black. So I could use the light fast for the really dark areas. Oh, thank you, K-Cat. That's really, really nice of you. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised actually about my feathers because I haven't drawn any since I drew the Elizabeth the chicken, and I've not drawn feathers on drafting film. Oh no, I tell a lie. I drew a budgie and a robin, so I have drawn some feathers on drafting film. Yeah, it's. I think if you don't get bogged down, like I always say, if you don't get bogged down with the detail and you just kind of look for your shapes and everything, then it's easier. I think when you just look at something and all you see is detail and you start to get all scared about it, that's when when things go wrong. And it's really, really easy to become quite despondent about your drawings, telling yourself you can't do something. And as soon as you start telling yourself that you can't do something, then the likelihood is it's not going to work and you're not going to be able to do it, because your brain, believe it or not, listens to you. Which is a bit simplistic, but if you start to tell your brain stuff, it just is like, oh, right, okay, that's what we're doing. I used to do a lot of sort of confidence coaching for horses and not for horses, but for riders. One of the things that we used to work on was, positivity and that type of thing. The visualization side of things is really big for confidence, for building confidence. And a lot of sports people, top sports people, visualize things going well, visualize things, visualize winning, all that type of thing. And actually, I might be talking complete rubbish here, but I think it's been proven that you can actually you can also improve like muscle memory and that type of thing. So gymnasts would go and visualize their beam work or their whatever it is that they do, their floor work or whatever. They'd visualize all of that and then come back and be able to do the exercise that they weren't able to do before, because they visualized doing it. And it's almost like your brain thinks that it's happening for real. I don't quite know how that works, but that's sort of that's the sort of the theory. And it's the same with anything. If you visualize something going well, the likelihood is that you will end up succeeding. But if you visualize or if you think all of the time of things going wrong, or you can't do something, or you can't do this, you can't do that, then the chances are that your brain's going to go, oh, right, okay, so we're not doing this. This is what we're doing. We need to, we can't do it. So you've got to try and train yourself to be, to have a little bit more faith in what you're doing, and to know that you are capable of doing something, and that actually the outcome will be positive. And that's what we did. We did an awful lot of that in the confidence side of things, and it really does work. I used to do a lot of dressage, and you know, if you visualize your test going wrong, then it will go wrong, you know. So that's what we've all got to try and do, is stay positive and visualize it all going right, and then it will in the end. Okay, so let's just bring in another bit of the slice in here. I'm at a bit of a weird angle really, but just bring in this bit here. It kind of gets a little bit thicker when it gets to the end. And then just bring a bit of detail in there. Start to okay, so we need to just darken up these a bit more. So you can see I've got a few layers on there. Just get these bits in here. And then this bit here is a bit darker. Bit of a shadow in there. And we've got a bit of a shadow there as well. There's a bit of artistic license there. It's not all exactly as per the. But then, as you know, I'm a very lazy artist. Let's get a bit more of that blue in there. It's starting to just smear a little bit there, but that's looking all right. So I've just increased the pressure a little bit there. A little bit more. I've got a slipper literally just sitting at the door staring at me. I'm not quite sure what she wants. Oh, that's okay. That's okay, K-Cat. That's I mean, you know, the confidence thing is massive, you know, and it's so important. And it's, you know, it's fine for somebody, I guess, who you know, doesn't have sort of confidence issues. It's you know, but if you do lack confidence in anything, it's horrible, because you know you then you really struggle to do the stuff that you really want to do. You know. And actually, it's just a case of rewiring your brain a little bit, and then you know, it can come back again. Okay. So yeah, so I'm okay with that bit of a feather. That's all right there. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of bit of a frilliness in this bit here because it's a bit smooth. I'm just going to have a slurp of tea. Okay, and then we'll come and we'll work on this this feather here. So again, I've got the black light fast here that I'm just going to use just in varying tones. We can just bring a bit more darkness into there. I guess the techniques that you'd use with this paper is, or this surface, is really light pressure, and it's about being observant. So if you've got an eye for detail and you like your detail, I think you are going to really like this paper or this surface. You've got to plan a little bit in your head, because you do have to sort of think about where lights and stuff like that are going to go. But you've also got the real, you know, you can use the slice tool. So, you know, if you were using a hot press paper, for instance, you don't have the same ability as you do on this to take out areas. You just don't have that ability. So actually, I think this is a much more versatile paper than a hot press. It's just you know, you can just you can get away with much more, I think. I mean, you can use a knife and stuff like that on the hot press. You know, of course you can, but not in the same capacity as this. This is just it's on another level, really. So we just got a bit of. And our Instagram page is going to be going live, I think, tomorrow, which is going to be quite exciting. So I've just got to, the lovely Nikki's sorted it all out for me, so I've just got to sort some bits and pieces out, and then we can start posting to the Instagram page as well, which would be really good. And you can start saving all of your, well, we can start, I can start, whoever can start saving all of your the images that you want to save onto it, which I think would be a really nice thing to do, actually. Okay, so just pulling in a bit of the shadow along here as well, so using quite hard pressure to get that really dark in. Oh, thanks, Amy. Yeah, they're quite nice to draw, actually. You know, I think we just scare ourselves when we just think, oh no, I can't possibly do that. I think we just scare ourselves. But actually, if you just sit and you just look at what it is that you're drawing, oh, there's a bit of a shadow here, a bit of a shadow there, there's a bit of a shape there, you know, and just concentrate on doing that. You know, it just all starts to come together. What are you doing, Slipper? You can't have any more. You've eaten all the Sunday lunch. She's a very naughty dog. She's booked in for a bath and a pamper session. I would be willing to bet that other artists who have Patreon channels will start doing the same thing with Instagram. Oh, yeah, probably. Well, you know, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It makes sense, doesn't it? You know, to do that and to sort of like celebrate your you know, your patrons successes, your patrons' successes. I do think I'm a little bit unique compared to other people in that, you know, in that I sort of collaborate, or I'm hoping or wanting to collaborate with my patrons. I think I am a little bit different to other people in that way. I tend to get a huge amount of I sound like a real idiot when I say this, but I tend to get a huge amount of joy from seeing other people succeed. I just really like to see people do well, you know, and to me, the Patreon channel is a really great platform actually for working with people and getting people involved. You know, so I think I am quite unique in that side of things. Some may say stupid, but hey, Instagram wars like that, Jim. Probably love this. Oh yeah, yes, yeah, you will, Amy. You really will. I think you're going to fall in love with it. Actually, I think you're really going to like it. Slipper, you need to sit down now. Sit down. You know, no, we don't want any. We don't want any Instagram wars. That's not what we want. And I'm a very what's the word? I back off, you know, any sign of trouble and I'm gone. I don't like any sort of conflict or anything like that. It just really upsets me. So, you know, I tend to, you know, try not to get involved with any nastiness. What time are we on? God, I can't believe it. We've been going nearly an hour. Where is the time gone? How come I haven't finished a whole chicken? Although saying that, if we'd been on Pastel Matt, I'd have done like about this area here. And we'd all be going, oh, it's really grainy. Quick, get your cold, warm grade 2 out. It's almost like you fall in love with drawing all over again, I think, when you use this paper. And I know it's not for everybody, you know, but if you like it, I think you will end up liking it instantaneously. As soon as you try it, it'll be like, yeah, I love this. Let's get a bit of that blue in there as well. So I've had a real old tidy up of my studio as well. And my space hasn't changed. I've just got a new table and everything, and I can actually see my studio. Before I couldn't see anything. I just had boxes everywhere. I have got a load of paintings here from other people at the moment because I'm taking deliveries for the UK Colour Pencil Society annual exhibition. So I've got the amazing Amy Schutz. I've got her elephant piece here, and bless her, she's given me a print as well. And then I've got 3 artists from Greece. They've sent me their work, and then I'm expecting 4 other pieces. So I need to be very careful with them, not lose them on the way to the exhibition with my painting. I have a feeling that Amy Schutz's piece is going to get a prize. It really is superb, and it's a lovely emotive subject as well. You know, I mean, it's got sort of People's Choice written all over it, I think. Finally found you. Oh, hi Patsy. You will be able to see the whole interesting video on Patreon when I'll save the link for you. You're probably all sitting there thinking this is boring as anything. Me whittering away. got Slippers decided she's going to bite her leg. Honestly. Oh yes, Jill. She's she's her horse. She's got a she uses I can't remember what sort of paper she uses, but she uses some really lovely colours. Her work is very nice. I really like how we can all be drawing the same thing but all have completely different styles. I just really like that. It's your unique ability to inspire and draw the best. Oh, you're so kind, K-Cat. I've been asked to draw a few African grey parrots, not sure I have the patience. Do you know, Sarah, I reckon that if you did it on the drafting film, I bet you'd really enjoy doing it, actually. Once you get into it, because one layer of colour and that's it, it's done. So I reckon you'd quite enjoy doing it. Oh, that ping was my son asking if I finished because he's in the bedroom above my studio. Bless him. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's right. Oh, thank you. Yes, it is. It's the Hannah Moore. I never know how to pronounce that. Nostalgia. Yes, because I've got some of the pastel fix paper. The Hannah. They've got all sorts of different sorts. But yeah, she her pieces really are very nice. So we've got a couple of minutes left. Though I hope that this has been interesting for you. I'm going to carry on with this, I think, because I quite like it. And I think I'm probably going to do a feathery tutorial as well. I think that would be quite nice. I've got some other some sort of rooster pictures, and the rooster is actually really colourful, so I think he's all sort of orange, reds and yellows, so I think that would be really quite nice. So I'll just put this slicey bit in. And then start to just put a little bit of this dark bit here, and just do this, and then we'll finish up. But yeah, I hope this has been okay. A little bit of an hour out of your day to join me drawing feathers. I hope it's been interesting. If it's not, do tell me. Give me feedback. And then I think these drawing sessions are quite nice using sort of stuff like this, like the pastel mat or something like that. Next drawing session, we might I might have a go using those pigment markers, as an underpainting, and see how we get on with those. Maybe do an underpainting and then draw over the top of them. See how we get on. But I'll put a poll out anyway, and you can make a decision as to what you want to do. Have you really enjoyed this? Oh, have really enjoyed this. Oh, thank you. I thought you were asking me if I've really enjoyed it. Yes, I have. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. Dying to draw a chicken now. Brilliant. Yes, you need to draw a chicken, Jill. Brilliant. Okay, good, good. Okay, well, I'll say good night and goodbye, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you over on Crazy Discord and in Facebook and wherever, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me.